In this video, we are going to work on Freecodecamp responsive web design projects. The first project would be build a tribute page. Welcome to Traverse and Create. We are going to build a tribute page. Let's click on this under the responsive web design projects. Takes you to this page where you have 9 user stories. By the way, if you don't know what a user story is, just click on the link over here. It will explain you what a user stories are. And we're going to complete all these 9 user stories and build something similar to the one which is provided over here. Let's open this one up. A tribute page for Dr. Norman, but we're not going to work on that. We're going to build our own, which would look something like this one by the end of the project. We're going to work on Alan Turing. We're going to talk a little bit of Alan Turing's work, date of birth, and we're going to create a learn more button over here on the right side. Now, first things first, you're going to scroll down over here and you can see there is a template given. Just click on it. Opens it up, something like this, but I have one already opened up over here. And I took the time in adding all the user stories into my project, which I have 9 user stories. And please take time to read all these notes and notes over here. Once you finish reading, just delete this. And once you're finished, delete this. In this project, we are not going to use JavaScript, so I'm going to close this window all the way up over here. Just drag, and I'm going to leave this just about halfway through so that we can go through our user stories. All right, I'm going to go a little bit back and forth between my Freecodecamp page and the responsive web design over here, the challenge. All right, first things first, let's read what it is. My tribute page should have an element corresponding with an ID main, which contains all other elements. So go back to your project. First, we're going to name this as FCC tribute page. This one up. All right, first we're going to create a div container. By the way, the shortcut key to create div is type in div and hit tab key. It brings you a div container. And open this one up. And it says to create ID with main. All right, let's go to the second one. All right, the second user story says that I should see a corresponding ID with the title, which contains the string that is text that describes the subject of the tribute page. Example, Dr. Borgman. We are not working on that, but we are working on something else. So we're going to create another div, enter, and we would like to give the ID as title. Inside that, we are going to give the name of the title. So it is going to be something in bold. So we're going to use strong. I think if you go back to your CSS, basic CSS, you will see what strong is. Tab, enter. Inside that, we're going to use a h3 tag for the header. And we're going to mark it as Alan Matheson Turing. Where am I getting all this information from? If you go to Wikipedia, I'm grabbing all the information from the Wikipedia page. So just wanted to give you an idea where I'm getting all the information. I have the image, and I'll show you how to get the image from the Wikipedia page as well, but that's coming up next. But let's go back to our Codepen. Before we start working on the entire project, I would like to give my body some color. So I don't like this white, so I'm going to change this. So I'm going to give body, and I give a background color, and I'm going to make it black. Now, if you guys don't know how to create your own custom like hexagonal colors, what you do is color, inspect over here. We don't need HTML. We're going to go to the body. See over here, you have this button, background color as black. Just click on it and you can choose whatever color you want, like this, by changing colors, yellow, background. Like, you can use whatever color you want and then copy this and you can paste it over there. So Control C, bring it over here, Control V, and make sure you add the hash over here. There you go. That's your, but I'm not going to use this color. I'm going to change the color to this one, which is more prominent, dark, a little bit more bluish, gives you like a light gradient. I'm going to change the color size of the font as well by adding a main color. I'm going to make it hashtag FFFFF, or the shortcut key for this would be 3Fs, which gives you white. So your Alan Matheson will be in white color. Now, let's go back and finish all these user stories right now. So we did the first one, we did the second one, and we're going to look at the third user story, which is I should see either a figure or a dev element with a corresponding ID. I'm going to copy this. Now, if you remember in your FCC challenges, in your stylings, there should be something called as figure tag. And inside the figure tag, you will need to add a figure caption. So I'm going to write fig caption tab, opens it up. We're going to fill this one later, but right now we're going to just leave it over here. Inside the figure, we need to get the image from the Freecodecamp and attach it over here. So first, let's give the ID of img-div, which contains the div, or you can use the figure. And let's go into our user story 4. Within the img-div element, I should see an image element with a corresponding ID image. I'm just going to cut this and just paste it over here so that we know what we are doing. All right, we're going to create a image which will have a source. Okay, got it. Which will have a source and alternative. So our source is the Wikipedia page. If you go, click Wikipedia, and where it says share, click share, go to embedded, and you can copy the entire code. Or what you can do is you can just copy this image. Oh, it doesn't let you. Okay. All right. Control A, Control C, go back. There is too much over here. So for the time being, I'm going to put it over here. All right. I'm going to remove the P tag. Remove the P tag. I don't need the anchor tag. I don't need the anchor tag over here. Close the link. Remove all this jargon from here and close this anchor tag. And the one which you created, you can just close this one as well because that is already provided for us. So we're going to use that. If you see at the bottom over here, we have successfully imported the Alan Turing picture into our Codepen. I'm going to bring this one a little bit further. Now, we are going to look at the other user stories. User story number 5. Go back up here. Paste it. All right. Within the img-div element, I should see an element with a corresponding ID, image caption, that contains text, contextual describing the image shown in the img-div. So the img-div, right over here, we should have a image caption. So image caption can go into the fig caption. So img and this will be Turing C1928 at the age of 16. That would be the image caption. Now, let's go into our next story. User story number 6. I am going to copy this, cut this one out, This is the main dev container. So I'm going to bring all the way this down so that we are not putting it before it. All right. And this one, we're going to create a tribute info, and which contains the contextual text describing the subject of the tribute page. Before we do a tribute page, first what we need to do is we need to create a container that holds the tribute info. So first, in order to do it, we're going to do div. Inside that, I'm sorry, for this one, I'm going to give something as info. Now, inside this div, we are going to create another div where it will have the ID of tribute info. So this one, we're going to give an ID tribute info, and the tribute info will have a p tag. So all the information about Alan Turing will be inside the p tag. So where will you get the information info? All you can do is, sorry, close this. That is entire text over here. I'm not going to copy the entire text. I'm just going to cut and paste something from here. And it comes up to like, you can do your own text from there. And I did my own. So I'm going to paste it over here. It's going to be something small, tells you about Alan Turing and the whole information about it. Now, we are going to look at user story number 7. I should see an element with a corresponding ID tribute link, which links to the outside site and that contains additional information about the subject of the tribute page. Hint, you must give your element an attribute of target and set it to _blank in order for your link to open up in a new tab. So that means we need to give another ID. Cut this one up. Bring it over here. And paste it over here. And we're going to give another ID, and we're going to give a link, and a link should open up in a new tab. In order to do this, we're going to create a anchor tag. Anchor tags are a tab gives you a anchor tag, and in this anchor tag, the href. The href is going to be this one over here. Paste it over here, and at the same time, we're going to give an ID which says tribute link, and target will be _blank. This target _blank, when you click on it, this opens up in a new page for you. So we will work on that. Now, in order for you to create a click button, which will be this one over here, which says learn more, we are going to do a little bit of styling. We create 2 circles, which is a solid circle. The other one is a dotted circle. In order to do that, we're going to create 2 circles. So we're going to go div. We're going to create the first circle by giving it a class called as outer circle. Outer circle. Inside the outer circle, we are going to give another div, and we're going to call this one as inner circle. And inside this, we're going to create a p tag which holds learn more. I think that should do for the other one. Now, let's go back to your user stories. The image element should be responsive to resize relative to the width, and that means the size should be more responsible, which is the image over here. As the page shrinks, to make it more responsive, you need to add some styles to it. And the image element should be centered within its parent element. So what we're going to do is, currently our image is sitting on the left side of the page. What we're going to do is we're going to bring it to the center of the page, which will be your user story number 9. Okay, first things first, let's go up over here. I think this is our first user story. Sorry, user story 1, where it asks us to ID with main. Yep, we got this done. Now we have the image, right, which is the image. We're going to give a width. Currently, the size of this one is way too big for us. It doesn't look good. It's too much going on over here. What we're going to do is we're going to reduce the width of the image by doing width, say about 35%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this like a so-called a semicircle on the top, like this shape. In order to do it, we're going to give a border. So first we're going to do border, top, left, sorry, radius. We're going to give this about 44%. And we're going to do border, right? No, border top on the right side, radius. We're going to do 40%, 44% as well. And if we save this, let's see how it looks. Oops, yep. All right, we gave him like a small shape over here. You can do as much radius as you want. I just did that much. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. And this one, I believe, is the user story 3 over here, corresponding image and img-div. So, and I'm going to give a border. So let's say border 6 pixel solid, and I'm going to pick a different color instead of one. So I have this hex value, Control V, save. It gives you that the lightish pink color, that one. And I'm going to give a max width of 100%. And I'm going to make the display as block. When you do a display as block, it sets the image into the position where you can add margin right, make it as auto, and margin left, make this as auto. Immediately when you put in margin left as auto, the image got centered. If you look at it right at the bottom over here, your image is nicely centered, perfect space on the left side, perfect space on the right side. Now let's do a little bit more of styling. We're going to work on our img-div. I'm going to give, say, hashtag img-div. We're going to do align content to center and text align to center. This is done. Save this. I'm going to look at our title over here. Currently, I don't like the title over here because when you open this, it covers the Allen Matheson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the title all the way to the right side. So in order to do this, go over here. Currently, we gave the ID of title. It's right over here. So ID, title, and we're going to call it as text, align to the right, and we're going to add some margin to the right side because it's very close to the end of the page, say about 80 pixel, and I'm going to give a font size, size about 22 pixel. You can go EM, REM, pixel, percentage. It's up to you. Whatever you are comfortable with, you can do it. Looks good. Now, I don't like the font style. It looks like pretty old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google Fonts. I'm going to select Roboto. And in Roboto, we are going to look at the, say, light 300. Select this style. You can add a link or you can import this into your CSS. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this, go back to attribute page, and all the way up on the top of your HTML page, I'm going to paste this. Now, if you go back and to your Google Fonts and the CSS style, just copy this. Go back to your attribute page. Under the body, we want the font to apply for the entire text inside this page. So we will paste that under the body tag. So paste it over here, save this, look at this. How nice this one looks compared to the other one, which was kind of tacky. And look at this text over here, which is really clean. So let's work on our remaining user stories. So we finished with the title. Now let's see what we can work on. We are going to do some stylings for the img-div. I should see an element corresponding image caption and all that. So we're going to work on our info section, which is this guy over here, all the way, this text sitting under the page. We're going to bring it right up in the middle to the left side. So in order to do this, we're going to give the info. Now we're going to make it display flex. Why I'm using flex? Because I wanted to use either a flex or a grid styles from the CSS, basic CSS courses which you've done, so that I can align both my text here and here on the same row, or you could say row, so that they are not one on the top, one at the bottom. So I'm going to give it as display flex, and I'm going to say top about 50%, and position going to give it absolute. Pen saved. Bring this one up. It goes all the way up over here. So we're going to work on the styling as well. If you look at it, it's right over here. This width, we're going to change the width, add some padding, create the border to make it look more nicer. But at least we got the position right. I'm going to close this. And where do we have this info at? The info is the tribute info. The whole text over here is inside the info tag. So we're going to grab the tribute info right over here. Tribute info. The good practices of creating CSS, not the best, but good practice is always copy from here, Control C, and paste it over here, so that you're not making any typo or spelling mistakes as to why your styles are not working till you get perfect in the CSS styling and everything. Until then, do this. So we're going to give a width, because currently it's set to 100%. You're going to say, let's say 35%. And we're going to give a margin on the left, which is about, say, 3%. And we're going to give a border, 2 pixel solid. I'm going to give the same style, color, I'm sorry, not style, which I used it on the top over here. I'm going to use the same thing over here for the border, so that I'm keeping it consistent. And I'm going to give a border radius so that it can becomes like nice curvy edge, gives you about like 10 pixel. So I'm going to save this and see how it looks. All right, so when you look at it, you have this border over here which has been created. Now the border is like touching over here and this touching over here, and we have this learn more touching. So we're going to work on this, bring this learn more to the right side, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit, and I'm going to change it by adding some padding inside. I'm going to add padding to the p tag which is inside the tribute page. So in order to do that, so we're going to do tribute info, the p tag, give a padding of 5%. If you do padding 5% in this way, padding applies to top, right, bottom, left of 5% altogether. So I'm going to save this, have a look at this, perfectly centered from the top, right, bottom, left, have the same amount of padding right now. So I'm going to bring this down. Right, let's work on the next one. So once this is done, we're going to add some styles to our tribute link, and we're going to do our outer circle and everything. So tribute link is the learn more button, which is this one, the tribute link. And I'm going to do some stylings to it. So I'm going to call it tribute link. The top will be 0%. The right would be 14%, and the position going to be absolute. When I save this over here, now our tribute learn more should be about same size as over here. Now we're going to change that and add some circles to it. First things first, we're going to create the outer circle, and for the outer circle we gave a class, not a div. So for a class we should do dot outer circle. Let's say we're going to give a height about 150 pixel, and width 150 pixel. Just want to say, give you a helpful tip. I'm going to save this for a second. Open this, change it to full view. Oh, no, it won't apply. Why? Because I didn't give. I'm going to add a little bit more. Say position, absolute. Top will be 0%, right will be 30%. Now we're going to save this. Let's see. Oh, we need to, in order for us to exactly see what is going on, for the time being, I'm going to give a background color of red, just to give an idea what is actually going on. So we're going to save this, refresh the page. See the mistake I made over here. Circle, the same mistake I just told you guys about copying it, and I made the same mistake. All right, so now we have this. I'm going to go to full page. In order for us to make this a circle, the trick is you can adjust the size. It opens up over here. And if you want to change styles, you don't know how big you want the height to be, you can actually reduce the size of the height, say 150. I'm going to bring it down all the way to 150, right there. Now I'm going to make this as 150 as well. Perfect. Now it looks like a perfect square. And now I'm going to add a border radius. I'm going to give the border radius as 50%. Look at that. It creates a perfect circle. Now, you created your styles over here. You wrote your styles over here. How can you transfer these up over here? All you can do is copy. Close this. Editor. Bring it up here. Paste it. And let's see if we got our styles up. There you go. We're going to adjust the learn more in a second. But now I want to add another style to it, which I'm going to give a border. So I'm going to say border 2 pixel solid. It is going to be the same color over here, which I used. Going to do that, and save this. Oh, sorry, save. My typing is really bad today. So solid, save, and actually I'm going to keep all the mistakes I'm making right now so that you can also learn from the mistakes I'm making, so that you can learn from your mistakes. Now we know this form. What we are going to do is we're going to create another one as a inner circle. Where is our inner circle? So copy this guy, inner circle, Control V, open this one up. And for the inner circle, let's say we're going to give a background color of pink. I know, it's not the best color, but for visual representation, 125 pixel. This one should be a little bit smaller than the outer circle. So width, by the way, I just went up and changed the width to match the height to make it a perfect circle. It was perfect square. It was not a perfect square. And for this one, width, height, same 125 pixel. And I'm going to give the border radius as 50%. And at the same time, we're going to add a border, which is going to be 2 pixel, not solid, but it's going to be dotted. and the shortcut key of white is triple F. Because it is touching to the circle, we're going to center it. In order to center it, I'm going to give a margin, top and bottom as 10 pixel, left and right, make it to auto. That automatically centers the inner circle right over here. Let's look at this. Right, we are getting somewhere. Now we're going to change this learn more, bring the learn more inside, and then we're going to add some hover functionality as well. Now, since we got this working, we can comment this one out, and we can comment this one out, and let's see how it looks. Perfect. All right, let's work on the inner circle, learn more. The learn more has a p tag on your left side over here, which is inner circle. So we're going to target that and give start. So copy this, inner circle, give a class, Control V, and it's going to be the p tag. P tag, let's say color is going to be white, and we're going to give font weight, it's going to be bold, make it a little bit bolder, yeah. And since it is touching the top and the left borders, so what we're going to do, we're going to give some margin by 39% and 10% to bring it center. Look at this one. If you don't know how exactly these numbers are, so what you can do is Control, Inspect. See, you can say for 39, right? If you don't know the exact number, you can always play around by adding, reducing, and this style, the CSS way, you can first work on it over here, copy this code from here, and paste it in your original document. So it makes it easy for you. We centered it. Now, we're going to add a little bit of a hover functionality. On hover over here, it's going to automatically change colors. So right now we have no color change, and we're going to target this by adding to the outer circle. So outer circle, on hover, we're going to change the background color to say hash 0458AD. What's that? Let's see. Save this. Oh, sorry. Pen saved. Let's see if our hover functionality works. Look at that. On hover, our color changes to perfectly blue. And if we click on it, it should open in a new tab. There you go. We did this. Now, we're going to do a little bit more tweaking, and we still need to do one more user story, which is this one. The image element should responsibly resize itself. Let's see if I do this way. If our image changes or not. This is exactly what they wanted when they say the image to be responsive. Is the image has been responsive or not? Yes, it is responsive. You need to add a responsive tag by adding a media. Add media. You can do min width or max width. I'm going to do max width of 470 pixel, and I'm going to give info display about, it's going to be flex, top is going to be 38%, position will be absolute. Inside that, we also need to add some styles to this guy over here, which is the attribute info information. And let's see, that attribute info will have a width of 92%. Margin, top, right, bottom, everything going to be 5. And our link, hashtag attribute link, will have top 90%, right 33%, position going to have absolute, Save this. And let's look at this on the full page view. Perfect. Looks great. Position. Our text over here looks great. Let's look at the mobile view. Where's mobile? Mobile's right here. Responsive. Change this to iPhone. We're going to add some. This is too much of padding over here. So let's see. Inspect. Info page. We're going to reduce the top to 33%, and this one, the learn more is touching this one, so inspect, outer circle, anchor tag right over here, top is at 90, and we're going to just about 100. Save this. Actually, I didn't even save it, so close this, close this. Where is our info? Info, this should be not 38 but 33%. And our attribute length, we moved it from 90 to 100. Save this. Change this to attribute page and run your tests. Ooh, 7 out of 10. Go. Let's look at it. Within the img-div, I should see a image tag. Close. Yeah, I did see an image tag. Oh, there's an ID is missing over here. So, okay, ID, and it's going to be image. Save this. Fine. We got it. Alright, so look at this. It's 10 out of 10. All your test cases are passed. Test cases or user stories are passed. This is exactly what FCC wanted. And you can paste this into your project or into your resume that you worked on this to have the final look on the full page view. Perfect. It looks something simple. FCC tribute page. If you like this page, please give a comments, suggestions, anything we can work on it. I can make the updates for you. Thank you for watching.